and happy Thursday to you. Thanks for joining us tonight on UpNorthLive Unscripted at 6:30. It's a bit of a cooler day across northern Michigan. A lot of temperatures in the 60s. Definitely feeling, once again, like fall out there. It's actually pretty appropriate today because it is opening day for high school football. Normally, when we start the season, Joe, it's like 80 degrees, and like the first couple games, you get really hot just being out there in the stands. Today, tonight, little different.
Yeah, we're practicing for like late September, early October games tonight. Yeah, might need a sweatshirt actually for some of the games, which kick off here in about a half hour coming up. But it is a little chilly. The rain we had this morning and even last night is over with now, and we're not going to see any now until probably the middle of next week. So a bit of a dry stretch coming up here. We'll look at that, and of course it's Labor Day, a few days away. We'll have the full forecast for the weekend, Maya, coming up a little later.
All right, thank you so much, Joe. Our top story tonight, getting health care can be tough in rural areas, especially for kids. But in Wexford County, schools are stepping up. New upgrades to student wellness centers are helping close that gap right inside the school walls. UpNorthLive's Tony Lundy has more on these centers.
At schools in Manton, Cadillac, and Mesick, a trip to the nurse's office now comes with a lot more than just a Band-Aid. Inside these school-based wellness centers, students can get everything from vaccines and checkups to therapy sessions, all without ever leaving campus.
There's not enough mental health clinicians, period, whether you're talking about mental health for adults or kids. So I think this approach of having more mental health providers available for kids on site, it helps not only the kids, it helps the families, it helps the schools.
That growing need for care is why Manton and Mesick made upgrades to its centers. Manton added a wall to boost privacy, and Mesick added a new doorway and waiting area, allowing students to not have to use the library to enter the center.
Whoever might be in the library would see that they're coming in, or if they were coming in for counseling. Everybody who might be in there would see them. Also, if they used the library for testing or if they had meetings, we were closed. We couldn't see kids because they couldn't come in through the doors. So for us to have a space where they can come in to see us without having to go through the library is huge.
The centers serve students in grades K through 12, requiring parents' consent to use these services. For many families, the center is now the first step toward getting long-term care. In Wexford County, Tony Lundy, UpNorthLive News.
And with back to school season here, that means, of course, football season also. As Joe and I just mentioned tonight, the first night for high school football. College football starts this weekend, NFL next weekend. If you're a football fan and like going to any of these games, chances are you also probably like to tailgate. And with tailgating means enjoying some delicious food, burgers, brats, etc. Although there's nothing wrong with enjoying these types of foods from time to time, some people want maybe more nutritious options. Well, we have someone to talk about some more healthy options for your next tailgate. Joining us now is Dr. Charlotta Dennis with Priority Health. Dr. Dennis, thanks so much for coming on Unscripted tonight.
Yes, thanks for having me.
We are very excited to talk about healthier tailgate food. So why does healthier tailgating matter?
Healthier tailgating matters because people are suffering from things like high blood pressure, diabetes, high cholesterol. People are having heart attacks. And if you change the way you eat, minor changes, that can help improve your overall health and well-being.
And as I mentioned, some of the classic tailgate foods include burgers and brats and hot dogs, some things that maybe aren't the best for you. So what are some good swaps for those classic tailgate foods?
You can do minor swaps. We don't want you to think that you have to change the way you eat totally. The idea is making small choices, small replacements. So if you use white bread for your buns for hot dogs, try whole grain buns. You can also try wheat buns. These typically lower your blood sugars instead of raising them like white bread does. You can also, chili is a favorite at tailgating time. Oftentimes people want to put like sour cream, they load it up with cheese. Try adding different vegetables instead of the extra meats. You can add things like peppers and onions to replace some of the meat, but also instead of that sour cream topper, You can use things like hummus. You can also use Greek yogurt. Thick Greek yogurt is an amazing topper, and it tastes great.
So
Also, guacamole is also a great topper too.
Yeah, those all sound delicious. So what I like about this conversation is you're not telling people stop eating those burgers and that chili and instead eat a salad. You're saying, no, you can still eat some of your favorite tailgating foods, but there are just a few tweaks that you can make to make it a little healthier.
Absolutely. Don't swap everything out, but small changes consistently makes for a great time.
Sure, yeah. So what about when it comes to the side dish? Because some of those side dishes might not be the best for you either.
Yes, a lot of people at tailgating, you may see things like fries, or you may see, people will bring things like loaded potatoes. They will bring as much of the starch as they want, but try healthier choices such as fruits. Fruit salads are amazing and they're refreshing, especially when you're tailgating, you're outside. Sometimes the sun may be beating down on you. A nice cup of fresh fruit would be amazing. Also, veggie trays. Veggie trays are a great option because fresh servings can help decrease the risk of heart disease.
And who doesn't love a good veggie tray, right?
Right.
And when it comes to tailgating, I think a lot of times, maybe some alcohol is involved or even just some high sugary sodas or things like that. So what are some healthier alternatives for beverages?
For beverages, you want to start off with infused water, okay? This is taking a punch bowl, put ice in it, put water in it, but lace it with fruit. Put the fruit in it and let the fruit just sit and get all the juices. It turns it into a juicy water. And it's natural and it's refreshing. You can also get things like sparkling water. Sparkling water can replace pops because it doesn't have the sugar content. Some people like to, have that sensation that carbonated beverages give them.
Yeah.
Sparkling water is a great option to swap out the soda pop.
That all sounds so good. This entire conversation is getting me really excited to go to a tailgate. Now I'm hungry and thirsty. So when it comes to what kids eat, we know kids can be a little picky. Do you have any ideas to entice the kids?
For the kids, things that they can hold and, kind of gobble down can be amazing. Things like turkey sliders, mini turkey sliders, but try to find those whole grain buns. Also, veggie wraps. Veggie wraps can be a great handheld choice for kids. But what I like best for children are the trail mixes. And if you make your own trail mix, you can ration what you put in it. So you can do dried fruit, you can do seeds, you can do nuts, but you also can choose the unsalted choices to make the trail mix.
And that's not just for kids, right? Adults can enjoy that trail mix as well, too.
Also, yes, adults do enjoy it also.
All right, Dr. Dennis, any other tips you have for people to just create a healthier tailgate environment when it comes to what they're putting into their bodies?
Yes. The biggest thing is making small changes. Again, don't try to change everything all at once, but giving yourself healthier options. Adding fruits, adding vegetables, they can, help you feel full faster and longer. So adding those to whatever it is you're eating can be very helpful. Also, just making small changes to the breads that you eat. Try to swap out white bread for things like whole grain breads.
And these are easy transitions to make, too. Not anything that's earth-shattering.
It still tastes great. Yeah.
All right, before I let you go, Dr. Dennis, I have a question for you. I'm going to ask all of our viewers this in a couple of minutes, but what is your go-to favorite tailgating food?
My go-to, and I'm on a journey right now.
Okay.
I'm on a journey to change the way I eat. I do like to eat better, but for tailgating, I would say my go-to at this point would probably be a cup of fruit. And only because I recently stopped eating meat, and that was a personal choice of mine. So a cup of fruit may be my go-to for the next Lions game.
There you go. And a couple fruit is not just good for tailgating, it's good for any occasion. So we love that.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Or a slice of watermelon. I absolutely love watermelon.
Yes, good one. That's a great option. Good call there. All right, Dr. Dennis, thank you so much for coming on Unscripted tonight and sharing some tips on how to have a healthier tailgate when it comes to what you are eating and drinking. So I just asked the doctor what her favorite tailgate food is. Now let's ask you. And we made these options before we heard all these healthier alternatives. So a lot of our choices maybe aren't the necessarily healthiest for you, but they are kind of your classic tailgate food. So scan the QR code on your screen right now. And I'm noticing the background for this photo is a Buffalo Bills game. I'll have to talk with our director about that because it should be a Lions game, but that's an issue for another day. All right, so scan the QR code to vote. And you can also head over to our Facebook page to leave a comment. I'll take a look at those results and comments at the end of the show. But before we take our first break, we have one more story to share with you. Traverse City firefighters, they are skilled and trained to handle just about anything that's thrown their way. And sometimes they aren't very good at it, taking credit for what they do, that is. They're very humble and they are quick to downplay the life-saving work that they do. But this morning, they and the work got attention that it deserved. Our Mark Schlett reports.
I am a survivor because of several of the people in this room.
Those people, those lifesavers, those Traverse City firefighters, sitting alongside the very people whose lives they're being credited with saving.
Today was a joy in our hearts to know that what we do and what we practice truly makes a difference.
For Shannon Olshovy, an opportunity to thank face-to-face the paramedics who raced to her house and restarted her heart.
I'm grateful from my still beating heart for all of you.
A life saved, and in the process, countless surrounding lives changed because of it.
My husband still has a wife. My children still have a mother. My parents still have a daughter.
While Shannon's cardiac arrest, hopefully a rare thing, responding to one isn't for Traverse City firefighters.
My family and I are here to support and recognize the amazing efforts of the Traverse City Fire Department and EMTs who resuscitated and saved my nephew, Jacob Thiel, who was at the time 11 years old and collapsed in my backyard during a family reunion.
3 minutes after calling 911, and a group of those lifesavers arrived in Jody's backyard and got to work on young Jacob.
What was surreal to me in this horrific moment was just how fast they take over and how effective and the equipment and the things and the teamwork.
Shannon and Jacob alive today because of what these plaques and pins represent. And what our firefighters do a lot more than you might think. They save lives.
There's a special bond that's created when you have such a rare and unique opportunity to extend somebody's life that otherwise would have perished.
Firefighters deal with a lot of tough things to see and process. Plaques and honors for themselves are nice, but they don't really fix anything. What they say does are reunions and updates from those they've treated.
Sometimes these guys don't know what happens, you know, and they carry that burden, and they wonder, and they need those success stories. And I just think it's super important for them to know that, you know, this is an 11-year-old who, you know, gets another chance.
Words were said today and written by those far away, saying thank you. The plaques may or may not get hung up on walls, but those words, treasured by those who've earned them and need to hear them the most.
We have a chance to reconnect and give those hugs. It's almost like you don't even have to say words. We just know.
Thanks to Mark for that story. All right, let's take a quick commercial break, but coming up next, Chief Meteorologist Joe Charlevoix will have much more on your forecast for Thursday evening. I'll look ahead to Friday and Labor Day weekend. Stay with us. That's next.
I'm Jada Johnson from Big Boys TV, and the Fish and Game Report is sponsored by Johnson's Propane.
It's been another chilly day across northern Michigan, but for a look ahead to the weekend, let's turn things over to Joe Charlevoix. Joe, is our weekend, is it going to warm up a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, we're in the 60s, actually 50s even today in some spots. 60s tomorrow, 70s on Saturday. Are you hoping to go 80s and 90s
on Sunday?
and 100s?
You don't need, no. You can stop at 80s.
Yeah, I think we'll stay, 70s for the most part.
Okay.
And then late next week, we're going to cool down. Look at this, our drone video earlier today. This is in Long Lake Township, Grand Traverse County. And looking down on the farm, nice day. We started with rain and a lot of cloud cover earlier on in the day, and then you can see a few clouds dotting the sky, but we did get some sunshine, and it was a good thing to get the rain we did last night because, again, we're not going to see any now for a little while. Let's go to, that was earlier today, let's go to right now. This is Petoskey, where it is 59 degrees, and actually a fair amount of clouds kind of rolling in. You're looking off to the west there out over Little Traverse Bay, Lake Michigan, and we're looking at a dry night. Now, I know it's kind of cloudy, but we're not going to see any rain out of that, those clouds. All right, here's our weather map tonight. And our cold front that passed through last night is right near Detroit, just north of Chicago tonight. That is moving away from us. If you look up north of Lake Superior, an area of high pressure, and that will drop in and kind of squash any chance for rain coming up here. This is radar earlier today. You can see a little bit of that rain. And now our northern counties are looking at a little cloud cover. There's the current look at things. You can see some clouds, Presque County across Sheboygan, near Traverse City, all the way up toward Newberry, and Beaver Island. A little bit of cloud cover. We just showed you that in our weather camera in Petoskey. All right, take a look at the next few days. There's tonight. There's tomorrow. We'll stop this around 1:30. Beautiful day. That rain you see out in western Wisconsin, that is not going to arrive here. There's Saturday. Nice day. Dry. A couple of clouds, maybe drifting through. None that will produce any rain. And then Sunday, same thing. Lots of sunshine and dry weather. So as we take a look at Labor Day weekend, there's the story Saturday, same thing on Sunday essentially, maybe a couple degrees warmer. And then Monday on Labor Day, highs between 75 and 81 degrees. Now, nice warm 70s, pleasant, but then look what drops in here. So you see where it says Traverse City, Chicago, that's the Great Lakes region. Right there, a little bubble of cooler air next week. And so I think while we have some nice days coming up here, watch late next week, or as we head toward Wednesday, Thursday, things are going to change. We'll get some rain in here late, and then look at the highs next Thursday, only in the 60s. So we are going to cool down late next week, but that's still a week away.
Yeah.
Got some nice weather coming up here right through Labor Day.
We'll enjoy that while it lasts.
Absolutely.
All right, Joe, thanks so much. We are going to take another quick break, but don't go anywhere just yet. Sports is next. You're watching Up North Live, news at 6:30. Well, tonight is opening night of the high school football season. Teams will kick off in about 6 minutes. For more on that, here is Sports Director Harrison Beebe.
Let's talk about week one. A lot of good games, and I'm loving this week one. I hope it always kind of stays this week before Labor Day. We get the big slate on Thursday. I think everybody's big game for Northern Michigan. These are just the new rivals to talk about. Reed City and Kingsley.
Yeah, they really kind of have become pretty big rivals in a matter of just a few years, because I think prior to that COVID game, I think they only ever played once or twice. And it seems like now, since 2020, they play almost every year, either in the regular season or a couple times in the playoffs. So it has developed into quite a rivalry, and there's a lot of mutual respect between those teams, but they also, you can tell, they kind of don't like each other because the other one's standing in the other one's way. So it makes a whole lot of sense.
We know that the rivals will meet up in Benzie County. Intriguing to see Frankfort and Benzie Central play right away.
Should be an interesting game. It's another one where Benzie has a new coach in Brian Lark, so we'll see what he brings. He, when he was hired, preached about bringing toughness and respect and wanting to be one of those teams like a St. Francis or a Kingsley that just develops a program and has good teams from year to year.
Let's skip ahead to Friday, because we know even though the schedule is lighter, there still are a handful of games that are, what's going to go on here? One of those being Friday at Thurlby, Traverse City St. Francis hosting Glen Lake, which we hadn't touched on Glen Lake in our big season preview that we did, but I think the Lakers are going to be pretty good this year after having a great season a year ago, and no better way to test yourselves by stepping up a few divisions and playing the Gladiators.
Yeah, that's going to be a big test for both teams right away. St. Francis is looking to regain its footing as one of the powerhouses in northern Michigan after a couple where they weren't quite up to what they normally have expectations for themselves. Glen Lake has had a pretty good run here the last couple of years, but last year they had a very good defense, and they've got some pretty big chunks of that back, especially that really good linebacking core minus Benji Allen.
And we'll have highlights of all of those games tonight at 11 during Hometown Highlights. We are going to take another quick break right now, but coming up in just a few minutes, we'll check out the question of the day related to your favorite tailgate food. Coming up next.
Salon services are furnished by Epiphany Advanced Academy in East Acme.
'Tis the season for football, family and friends, and of course, food. Again, with high school football kicking off tonight, college football this weekend, pro football next week. I'm sure a lot of folks who are football fans may be tailgating coming up pretty soon. So what is your favorite tailgate food? You can see the results on your screen. It looks like hot dogs and brats are running away with 45% of the vote, followed by burgers, then wings, chips and dip, and last but not least, mac and cheese. Mac and cheese is kind of maybe a little random, not the first thing you'd think of when it comes to tailgate food, but that has my vote. I mean, maybe I'm just hungry, but mac and cheese sounds really good. But again, you can't go wrong with any type of tailgate food. All right, that'll do it for Up North Live Unscripted tonight. Thanks so much for joining us. As always, we'll see you back here at 11 o'clock.